We'll do PG-13 stories on this podcast. We got 23 and a half year olds listening. So
whoa. Round up. Basically 24. Basically.
Okay. You're almost off your parents' car insurance.
Are you on your parents' phone?
Hold on. I am on my own car insurance. We're on a family plan, but I pay my own bill. I pay my own bill. What are you? My mom takes my phone bill out every time. Thank you. I'm #independent.
It's just like you owe the family this much money for your family plan.
All right, we'll let it slide.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Post Moves. I'm Candace Parker here with my co-host, Aliyah Boston.
That's me.
Follow us at Post Moves Show on all socials. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
New episodes drop every Wednesday. Keep sending us your questions. You can DM us to Post Moves Instagram or leave it in the comments on YouTube. We love hearing from y'all.
We've got a great episode today. I'll be honest. We have
I'm excited.
Sue Many Jobs Bird on the show today. A woman of many jobs, my past teammate. We both competed against her, actually. Have you competed against Sue?
No.
Oh my gosh, you haven't.
No, I didn't play.
Oh, baby. I have competed against her so many years. One of the best point guards ever in the game. So we talk about a lot of stuff with Sue. So I would stick around for that. But before we get into that interview, how are you?
I'm great. I am at the house, so I'm happy. I had training today, so we're back in the gym. We're
Training
grinding.
like what? Can you please?
Like basketball, shooting the ball in the hoop.
So you're doing basketball training a week in 5 days after ending to be 23 and a half.
You have
wow.
to.
Like you did a whole workout?
I did a whole workout. I was on the court for like an hour and a half, and then I went to lift after. And here I am.
So you're not a lift before working out person?
I mean, I like to, but I'm cool with this setup. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I adapt, you know?
So last week we were taping, you said you were booking your flight. What's the latest? Where
I booked my flight.
Are we going?
I'm going to Jamaica.
Are you taking us with you?
I 100% am. Are you kidding me?
So are you going to have like the palm trees in the background?
Yes, and my pina colada. She got pina colada.
Oh, Lord. Before you get too far into that, it's time for what we want to talk about. Presented by AT&T, connecting our fans to everything happening on and off the court. Let's get into it.
Aces.
All right.
Sweet.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Sweet. I mean, they just dominated the entire series. Asia, MVP, finals MVP. I mean, she was hooping, man. They had no answer.
No, you got to say it right. First player in WNBA and NBA history to win MVP, Defensive Player of the Year,
and Finals
MVP in a season. You look at Asia's entire resume: 3-time champ, 2-time Finals MVP, 4-time MVP, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 7-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, and she's 29. So I think not only this season cemented a legacy that we already knew, but just her continued dominance in that sweep: 31 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks. Her second Finals MVP, the other one coming in 2023. She averaged 28.5, 11.8 rebounds, and 2 blocks in the finals. She hit the game winner in game 3 over.
That was a tough shot.
Over Dawana Bonner and Alyssa Thomas, which, by the way, I hate the internet sometimes.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
The internet provides
comedy, okay?
comedic relief in ways that you had no idea. Somebody tweeted that was going to be an awkward ride home between Alyssa Thomas and Dawana Bonner, that A'ja Wilson was the first player all time to hit a game winner over a married couple. I could not. I'm done.
Gosh.
I'm done with the internet. I'm done.
They get a good joke, though. Get a good chuckle.
Well, you talk about a dynasty. Let's go into it. The Aces rebounding, I should say, losing Kelsey Plum. They traded her. Bringing in Jewel Lloyd, a lot of people questioned whether that was going to work. Mid-season move Becky Hammon made to put Jewel as the first player off the bench. And KB was kind of the pseudo starter in that. And Kirsten Bell coming in, playing 2 minutes, getting the flow. Jewel coming in, loving that role. Finished almost all of those games, but just didn't start. That seemed to be kind of the game changer. Dana Evans off the bench, figuring out her role.
Nalissa played important.
Nalissa Smith, trade midseason.
Yep.
Coming to the Aces says that was the best thing that could have ever happened in her career.
Yep.
Earning a ring a couple months later.
Proud of my sister girl.
But listen, I do want to give it up to the Aces because I think basketball is about constantly reinventing yourself, and the way that you won previous championships is not going to be the way that you win this championship. You talk about the emergence of Jackie Young, who I think, honestly, I mean, you talk about her 21-point quarter in game 2.
That was something.
Her 21-point third quarter, her ability to have the ball in her hands and operate as a facilitating guard. What Becky Hammon did this year in terms of having Chelsea Gray still have the ball, but giving Jackie Young more ball handling and playmaking responsibilities made the Aces incredible. I was wondering at the beginning of the year, what are they going to do to offset Kelsey Plum's getting to the paint? Because Jewel Lloyd is not that. She is a lot of things. She doesn't like to drive the ball. She wants to shoot it. And so Kelsey Plum's dynamic on that team was that she would get to the paint and then defenders would have to collapse and then the ball would get moving. And once you got into that game with the Aces, it was a no-win situation. Yeah. And it kind of was like the yin and the yang. Like Kelsey was more of that guard that drove. Chelsea Gray kind of was like that ball controlling point guard. So it was like a great dynamic. But to be able to reinvent yourself now, add Jackie Young to the mix, I mean, just pure dominance. So let's give it up to the Aces. Undeniable champs. Proud of that group. First best of 7 series. Which was,
they took it down in 4. So
I mean, yeah, they didn't even need the 5 games. They got it done in 4. The Mercury, listen, a year after Diana Taurasi retires, Brittany Grotner walks in free agency. They don't get anything for her. They trade for Satu, and they bring Alyssa Thomas in.
Yep.
Then Dawana signs later. Kalia Copper was in and out with injuries this year, but then was back. They only had 2 returning players from last year's team in Natasha Mack as well as Kalia Copper. So Nate Tibbetts and the Phoenix Mercury have done a great job of getting to the finals. And let's see what they can put together. But I've been a runner-up before. That shit sucks. Like when you're in the locker room and you can hear everybody spraying champagne and the championship trophy, and then you got to go out there and be like, "Good job."
And then I'm just not good at that. On social media after too, because it's not gonna. You can't even go on your phone really, because that's all you're gonna see. That's all you're gonna see.
Yeah, it's tough to lose. It really is tough. It is tough to lose, but what's even tougher is to be booed.
Kathy,
that was crazy.
Did you see like they on Twitter that people were like screenshotting everybody's reactions in the back when the booing started, and everybody was.
But it went through her entire the
entire thing.
Talking at the beginning to give the championship her trophy. People booed. Then there was a pause, and then she gets to come back up there and give the most outstanding player. Sorry, I'm in college mode. The finals MVP to Asia. They booed the entire time. It was
OD.
Wild.
That was crazy.
Yeah, the fans, that was crazy. But in other news, Aliyah Boston, our very own post-ups, made All-WNBA second team. It was announced this past week. First team, Nafisa Collier, Alicia Gray, Kelsey Mitchell, teammate, Alyssa Thomas, and Asia Wilson all made first team. Second team, Aliyah Boston.
That's me.
Third youngest center in W history to make an All-WNBA team. Paige Beckers, Sabrina Ionescu, Neko Agumake, and Jackie Young.
Hey, it's a good day to have a good day.
What did I call and say? I FaceTimed you as soon as I saw the little
Yeah, you did.
da-da-da popped up. I looked at it. I was like, okay, she better have made it as I'm scrolling through. What did I say?
Yeah, you did. You did. You were like, I'm glad they didn't play around. I was like, me either. So I'm happy though. It's always a blessing. Like I look at it and I'm like, this is a blessing. This season, even though there was so much that happened to our squad, really just like I feel like allowed me to just show a little bit more of my game. And so, hey, I'm blessed.
Yeah, I thought that they did a great job putting this team together. A couple first timers in Alicia Gray and Kelsey Mitchell, your teammate, that made first team. Was Brianna Stewart snubbed? Did her missing a bunch of games impact the decision on second team? Also of note, there's conversation around Paige Beckers, who individually as a player, 100% makes second team. Do you factor in that they were in last place in the WNBA? Does that impact voting? I know a number of years Devin Booker was impacted by that tremendously because he was putting up crazy stats, but the Phoenix Suns just weren't good. And so he wasn't going to make, a all NBA team. So that's a conversation. But again, I'm a big believer in if you're going to put somebody on, you got to take somebody off. And that's a tough choice. I think all of them have cases at this point first team to me,
solidified.
Solidified,
Mhm.
locked in, loaded. Second team, possibly, but at the end of the day, I think that everyone is super deserving of it. So congratulations to all the first timers. Aliyah, now the ceiling is the roof. So the sky is the limit. And so therefore
Girl,
the
bye.
expectations, guess what? Tomorrow's price ain't today's price.
No,
So
you're right.
tomorrow,
You're right.
as in next season, I expect first team. So I'm gonna just
Me
put that
too.
out there.
Don't worry, me too.
But let's do a WNBA season recap. It's a huge time for the W. Finals averaged 1.5 million viewers. It was the most viewed WNBA finals through 3 games in 25 years. Any first round pick predictions? What you got? You got any predictions?
I mean,
You got any predictions for first rounders? I mean, I know one of my favorite
AZ,
players,
I think.
Olivia Miles, man.
Yep,
Olivia Miles is
AZ.
going to change a franchise to me.
Mm.
So you got AZ Fudd?
Yep.
Okay.
You see Lauren Betts. She's coming out.
Okay.
I'm riding with my Gamecocks. Every Gamecock that's coming out is a first rounder. Thank you. Put that right there. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right?
I'm good.
Why did it seem
I can't wait till South
You know what
Carolina
I
plays
think
Tennessee.
too? Janiyah Barker, I think with her size, I'm excited to see what she does at Tennessee, not against obviously the Gamecocks, but I am excited to see what she's done. Because I felt like Janiyah coming out of high school especially, and I know we recruited her too, had like so much potential, and she still does. Like I think her size can make her so hard to guard at any position because there's always going to be a guard smaller. Somewhere on that floor, there's going to be a guard smaller. So I'm very excited to see what she does. Not against the Gamecocks, but outside of that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that it is crazy in this day and age to think that the Minnesota Lynx, who had the best record in the league, could possibly end up with the number 1 pick in the 2026 draft, given that the Lynx have Chicago's first round lottery pick. And Chicago was, I believe, second to last in the WNBA. So they have a huge opportunity to get that number 1 pick. And Cheryl and the Lynx with the number 1 pick, that sounds a little scary. So I think, especially with this team, with this group of going into next year, adding 2 more teams, the WNBA, it's exciting times. So we just got to get the CBA proposal out the way. It expires October 31st. There's the latest leak of the proposed Supermax could get closer to 850,000. Veteran minimum could be around 300,000. WNBA has denied a fixed salary model it's not tied to league revenue. So gonna be an interesting offseason. I hope that this concludes in a couple weeks, but I hear that they're not that much closer. So we shall see. All right. That wraps up what we want to talk about, presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. You got anything else, Aliyah, before we...
I feel like it's time to bring on Sue.
You think it's time to bring on Sue?
I think it's time to bring on Sue.
Well, there's always a good time to bring on a 5-time Olympic gold medalist, 4-time WNBA champion, 13-time WNBA All-Star, and now a Hall of Famer. Some call her Sue B. Some call her Sue Bird. We're excited to talk to her next.
After we won the national championship in 2022, I saw you, Candace, in the crowd, and I just grabbed the mic and said it. I love you, girl.
And I felt that because I saw myself in you, the joy, the pressure, the entire journey.
You've always been someone that I've looked up to, and hearing you say, you got this, that meant more to me than you probably even know.
That's what Adidas is all about. The You Got This campaign is a reminder that support, even one moment, one voice, can change everything.
Whether it's a coach, a teammate, a friend, sometimes it just takes someone reminding you who you are.
We've both had those people, and now we're trying to be that for someone else.
Learn more about the You Got This message at adidas.com/yougotthis and follow along at Adidas and at Adidas US. This episode is brought to you by Smucker's Uncrustables. There's a reason classics don't go out of style. PB&J, no crust, no mess, no notes. Check out Uncrustables, the best part of the sandwich.
It's a round crimped sandwich made with soft, pillowy bread filled with peanut butter and jelly. Grab one from the freezer. Let it thaw while you do your thing on the court, in the carpool, or whatever hustle you're on. This snack is for pro goats, little legends, and everyone in between. Find Smucker's Uncrustables in the freezer aisle. Learn more at uncrustables.com.
Candace, honestly, my favorite plays are the ones where a teammate just knows what you need, like they're 2 steps ahead.
Exactly. That's the AT&T guarantee. They don't wait for you to ask. In rare event of a network outage, they'll automatically credit you for a full day of service.
So basically, it's like your PG throwing you the perfect pass before you even post up. Like, just lead me to the rim.
Or when AV is already in position before anyone else sees it coming.
All I'm saying is staying connected matters. And with AT&T, they make sure that you're covered.
That's connection with commitment. That's the AT&T guarantee.
AT&T, connecting changes everything.
Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details. First of all, Sue, thank you so much for joining us in between your craziness. I mean, you got not one, but 2 podcasts, Bird's Eye View, A Touch More with Megan Rapinoe. I mean, USA Basketball, retired athlete, a statue. I mean, like Hall of Fame.
That's important right there. I'm still stuck there.
I'm just like, thank you for coming and giving us your time because it's
anything
divided.
For you guys.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But like, how are you spending your time nowadays in between all of these jobs?
I know she's got a lot of jobs. She's really done it to herself. She's speaking in the third person. No, things are going great. Thank you guys. 2 podcasts. They really kind of, they complement each other, so it doesn't really feel like a ton of work. And I'm sure similar to you, right? It's like you're talking about basketball. You're having these conversations you would be having on your couch anyways. So that part's been going well. It's been a crazy year with the Hall of Fames and the statue. Memories and moments that I can't even explain them. How do you articulate these huge moments? Candace, you'll have your fair share soon. Also really thankful to have experienced it. And now I can kind of move on with my year in this wonderful way. So things are going well. I'm actually in a little bit of a downtime, so I'm happy to be here.
Well, I have a question because I know kids nowadays, I'm going to talk like that. You talk about talking in third person. I love because Aliyah is 23 and a half.
And a half.
Yeah, Sue, 23 and a half. You talked about your teammate's mom being your age. This is what I deal with every single week, okay? Yeah, so Aliyah's 23 and a half. You, on the other hand, are with me on that side of things. So, can you explain kind of from this point of view, what it's like looking at these kids at 22, 23 years old doing podcasts? And if so, if you can articulate that, who would you have done a podcast with? Because I have an idea of who you would have done a podcast with when you were 22, 23 years old, coming out of UConn, going in the WNBA.
Man, in some ways, like obviously with the growth of the league, things are just so different with, the introduction of NIL. Things are just so different for a 23-year-old. Like I can't even relate. I think for a really long time, Candace, like we were living the life of a women's basketball player to the fullest. Like we understood what that life was. We understood what playing in the league and then going overseas and fitting in the national team and trying to find time, like you just said, for a vacation. You had to squeeze that thing in. And now these players have like a totally different life. So it's like hard to relate. I'm definitely, and I say this with pride. I say this with such pride. I'm jealous. Sounds like a great life. Sounds like a lot more money, a lot more free time, but also like so proud to have been part of the growth. So in some ways, like I can totally hold both those things and love where I'm sitting now and enjoy watching it. Enjoy watching people like you, Aliyah, like players who are creating their business out the gate. I wasn't thinking about that. So to answer your question, who would I have done a podcast with at 22, 23? I mean, the easy answer is someone like Diana, just cause. I don't know, but if I had to like think out the box, maybe like, I don't know, maybe like an NBA guy who I either like went to high school with, college with, like to do like the dual, like the parallel path, right? Like that could have been something cool back then.
No, that would have been awesome. That would have been for sure so dope.
Wait, who you got for me? Who'd you pick?
I mean, I thought y'all's, 4 at UConn would have been a pretty interesting podcast. I sat at some dinners with you 4 and I felt very entertained. And talking about Asia, Swin, yourself, Diana, Tamika, I'll throw some Tamika in there. But yeah, I thought that would have been. I was entertained overseas. But we'll get to that later.
We had some good times.
Candace, wait, who would you have done it with?
Yeah.
That is a really good question.
Who would you have done it with?
That is a really good question. I mean, our class at Tennessee was crazy. So I think the easy answer would have been like our 4, Alexis Hornbuckle, Shannon Bobbitt. I honestly, that's a great question. Maybe Allison Felix, because it was kind of the crossover in track.
Yeah.
I like the guy. Yeah, like I like the guy similarities because Dwight Howard and I were kind of 04 McDonald's. So kind of seeing the similarities between that. Aliyah, at 23, 24, who would you do a podcast with?
Personally, I think I would pick Candace. I don't know if you know her for real, but I would have picked Candace.
Good answer, Aliyah. But
the only answer.
Yeah, the only answer. But listen, birthday girl coming up October 16th. Do you have any plans? Do you have any plans for your big celebration?
Yeah, I mean, I'm turning 45. It does not roll off the tongue. It does not roll off the tongue. 44 wasn't great either, but I was like, okay, let's talk about 45. And now I'm staring down the barrel of 45.
Hey,
no
45
big
is
plans.
Fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Is it? You'll see. It's all right. No big plans. Just gonna do like, dinner with friends. Honestly, big plans for me now is dinner with friends. That's like the big night out. And
are you an early night person? Do you go to bed really early or are you a night owl? Like what? Because listen, my wife went to a concert last night and I stayed home with the kids. And I didn't realize the time I was texting her that I was trying to keep my eyes open until she got home. And then I looked at my messages today. It was 9:30 p.m. where I was like, I'm trying to stay up, but I don't think I'm going to make it. So are you an early or late?
I'm a morning person. I'm a morning person. I like the mornings. I like quiet mornings with my coffee. I'm chill. That means you do kind of have to go to bed early, but it's because I'm like saving it for, I would say like twice a month. I'm having like, it might not be exactly a Russian night, but twice a month I'm having a night.
All right. Well, you did the transition. Story time here. Aliyah, many moons ago, actually not that many moons ago, Sue and myself played in this place called Russia. And we played in Ekaterinburg, Russia, and we had drivers and chefs, and we were paid pretty well. And we flew private, and we had extravagant parties, almost to the point where it's like another party. We got black diamonds. It was amazing. It was a great.
Y'all was outside.
Oh,
Y'all
we
was
were.
outside.
Well,
Y'all
listen,
were
I was a
outside. Y'all were
mom, so I was a mom, so
No, it
I
still
wasn't
sounds like
outside
you
as
were
much as
partying.
them.
I mean, all we had was outside.
And it was cold.
Sanity was outside. We had
Yes.
to stay outside.
Yes. But Sue, what can you say about your experience playing overseas? And if you can sum it up in a couple, you could do PG-13. We'll do PG-13 stories on this podcast. We got
Sure.
23 and a half year olds listening. So
Whoa. Round up. Basically 24. Basically.
Okay. You're almost off your parents' car
Which is
insurance. All right. We're almost there.
Are you on your parents' phone? Like,
no, hold on. I am on my
You have a
own car
family
insurance.
plan?
We're on a family plan, but I pay my own bill. I pay my own bill. What are you? My mom takes my phone bill out every time. Thank you. I'm
sends
hashtag
you like a Venmo
independent.
request.
It's just like, you owe the family this much money for your family plan.
Okay. I guess that's all right. We'll let it slide.
See, thank you.
Yeah, man. I mean, overseas it's crazy because would I prefer to be in today's game where you don't have to go? Probably. Yeah. Like it seems amazing to be able to play here and get paid and all the things. But at the other side of my mouth, wouldn't trade it. Really wouldn't trade it. Like the experiences off the court, culturally, living in another country, experiencing that, getting to know different people, make different friends, you name it. It has like impacted who I am as a person. And I'm so thankful for it. On the court, I always say it's like, it's kind of crazy because it was professional sports, but in a sense, it had like a college feel to it. Like you were on this team, it was your club, your ride or die. The fans are ride or die. When you go other places, it was never, you play in some of the smaller cities like Bourges in France or Košice in Slovakia. It's not like huge arenas, but what they packed. And these people were going crazy. Those EuroLeague road games, some of the hardest games you're ever going to play in. Then you fast forward to like EuroLeague Final Four. Some of the best. I always say people talk about like the greatest game we never saw, which was the men's.
The practice. Yeah. The practice between the dream team and the development.
Yes, the practice between the dream team. I'm like all the Final Fours in EuroLeague for like a good 5-6 year span. Greatest games you never saw. Like some of the names on these teams going against each other in a real game. Not a practice, not a scrimmage, not an all-star game, like a real game that had crazy stakes because a lot of our bonuses were tied into that. You know what I mean? Like there was just so much happening. So it really was such a special time. Hard being away, not going to lie. But honestly, Candace, when I saw you guys, you and Anya in France, like this past summer, where we were in the club, Anya and I were kind of next to each other. And we were just doing like a reminiscing of like all the nights and all the times. And we did like a where are they now? Like where's this person? Where's that person? And it was just, it brought back so much like good memories, good stuff, a lot of love. And again, it was I would never trade it. It really just changed who I am as a person.
And with that being said, I just want everybody to hear your first experience because for me, it was like I Googled where Ekaterinburg, Russia was. I remember Googling it and there were like 2 pictures of like Penny Taylor, and it was Cappie Pondexter, Asia Jones were like on the Google search. And I don't even know if it was Google. It might have been before Google. I mean, we were still using Skype. So like that's,
how old are you?
Listen, this is like early 2009, 2008. I mean, it was a rough.
Yeah, that was my prime.
You were on MySpace, probably Black Planet, like doing so. We gotta roll that back. We gotta find all your old Instagram posts. But I'm anxious to hear what your first experience when your agent hits you, you get the contract, you're going to this place. Because I don't think people understand that literally you just get on a plane, you land, and I landed when it was minus 38 degrees. It was like the coldest they had in Russia. I have my daughter with me, my mom with me. She's in a snowsuit. It was the big blizzard. There was snow when we walked up out to here. I got sick like the next day. I remember looking at my mom like, how are we going to do this? And you figure it out and you adapt and you find, home a little bit and you make it home for those 6 or 7 months. So I'm just anxious to hear about your experience, like that first time when you went overseas.
Yeah. Well, first of all, what really helped make it feel like home was, when the check came through at the end of the month. That was always like, okay, I can do this. I can do this.
I can eat borscht. I got you.
Okay, I'm good. Yep. Up snowsuit. Sign me up. Sign me up. Yeah. So I actually played in 3 different teams in Russia. So my first team, I played for Dynamo Moscow for 2 years. Then I moved over to Spartak for however many 5 years or so. Then finished in Ekaterinburg for 3 years, something like that. And so the first experience, I think I really had like a true overseas Russian experience. I was the only American. So we had another foreigner. It was Mawadi Mabika. So it was me and Mawadi, but I was the only like from American. And everybody on the team spoke Russian. Luckily, I had a Storm teammate, Kamila Vadichkova. She's from Czech Republic, but she spoke Russian. So that was like my binky. Like I went everywhere with her. I'd be like, take me to this door, order me this. What does this say? But I remember going, like right before I was going, having a lot of people, like older people, which kind of is interesting given where we are now in terms of like the Ukraine war and the Russian relations and all that stuff. I had a lot of older people in my life be like, their only experience was like the Cold War. And so they were like, you're going where? To do what? For how long? Like they couldn't really wrap their head around it. And I was like, I don't know, it'll be fine. And I only felt that way because Swin Cash, my college roommate, she had actually played for, remember Samara had a team and ended up being the whole thing. She had actually played for a Russian team the year prior to me going. So I kind of hit her up and I was just like, what am I getting into? Like, what do I need to bring? And she kind of calmed my nerves on a lot of it. It was like, they have everything you need. Like they have a drugstore. You don't have to bring all your things. If you have favorite things, you should bring like hairspray. If you have a favorite hairspray, a favorite product, bring that with you. But
yeah, they don't have a lot of brands. It's kind of just like one or two
different.
that are on the shelf, Aliyah.
Yeah.
So figuring out braids and hair and stuff is a little difficult.
I really do applaud you guys, though.
I know. I feel like awesome. I feel like all my Black teammates, anytime we saw like another Black person on the street, which usually they were from Africa or France, I feel like those were the two. It'd be like, do you know where to get your hair braided? So I did. I feel like I like
you
adjacent.
Literally still ask that now.
Right. Yeah, you still do it now.
We do that
anywhere you go now. You're like, hey, who braided your hair? That looks really good.
That was
especially
how
moving to a new place. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how Mawadi was. Really all my teammates. But yeah, so I remember when I first was in the airport headed over, I was like, well, how are they gonna, like, who am I looking for? And they were like, they'll know who you are. And then you quickly realize when you get on the flight, how different you look. Like your style, the way your hair, whatever it is,
how you don't jump up when the flight stops.
The boom boom rule.
Oh my gosh.
This aisle. Boom, boom.
Can't
boom,
even
boom.
explain to you,
Aliyah,
like how customs here, where it's like you wait in a line and you back up and you don't crowd the person. You just like give them space. Overseas, there's no space. I don't care if you're on a bus, on a trolley, on a train,
like
a line.
McDonald's. McDonald's.
Honestly, I'm with them. I'm with them. The quicker, let's just get this going. Let's just.
She from the islands, though.
Let's just get this going. Like, there's no reason to wait.
Let's
really clap and keep.
So
it
you're
going.
telling me when the plane lands and it goes bing, you're one of those people that in the back. I'm talking about the people in the back are trying to push past you to get to the front,
crazy.
and the door is not even open.
That's kind of
like,
crazy.
where's the fire?
That's kind of crazy.
They just rush, and it's normal. Yeah.
It's actually crazy to think, though, like how the game has grown so much, because when I first got to the league, like the thought of going overseas just was never even in my mind. Like it was just, that was not even a thought. And obviously after eventually now last year we got blessed with Unrivaled. But even before then it was like, are you going to go overseas? And I was like, no, I'm just gonna train here. I'm just gonna work out. But ever since I was little, even when I played USA basketball, like I would go on these trips, my parents would come and I would always be like, dang, we're not going home yet. We not going home yet. And USA was like a lot shorter, obviously, but I think growing up like 13, 14, 15, 16, it's like, dang, we over here for forever. But even now, thinking it's like going overseas is just not even the main thought, which I think just continues to show like how the game is really growing.
Mm-hmm.
No, Listen, I think there are a little fewer zeros behind the check now. So I will say it was a little bit more intriguing because there were more zeros behind the check back then. I said back then, Sue.
You're
It was like
right.
10 minutes ago, but it was back.
I said back then. But the thing that I'm interested to ask you, and especially since you've represented USA basketball for decades, and now you're the first managing director of USA's women's national team, which you just hired your head coach, Kara Lawson. Congratulations on that. How do you think the impact of players not going overseas as much anymore? Because I think we had a cheat code a little bit. And I remember sitting with you in 2012 at the Olympics, and I remember some of the guys on the team being like, that's not a travel. And us being like, yes, it is. Overseas, you have to cross over or you have to put the ball down. It's not the American rules. And so I always say that the women had the cheat code because we played overseas for 6 months. You had your stars and yourself, Diana. Everybody played overseas pretty much and knew the rules and the cadence of how they call fouls and all of that stuff. Do you think there's going to be some sort of impact in terms of adjusting internationally with this being kind of the first Olympics that those key players aren't going overseas?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely do. I think, you said it. We were doing scouting reports. We were telling coaches about players because these are the players we knew. We knew them well. We played against them. A lot of them were our teammates even. So we knew everything about them. And I think more so how they call the game, the physicality they allow, that's an adjustment. And if you've never experienced it, it's really hard. And we know that because that's how it was for us when we first went. Like your first month to 2 months overseas is very frustrating, maybe even first season overseas. So I do think it's an adjustment. I do think it's something that I've thought about. I've given a lot of thought to in terms of, how do you set players up for success in terms of understanding that? So is it, bringing referees in who are going to call it that way? Is it having a practice team in the short amount of time we do practice, having a practice team that's going to, emulate that style? I've definitely thought about it. And sometimes the only way to learn though is to get thrown to the fire. And so that's what a lot of these camps are about. That's what all these like qualifying tournaments are about, because it is different and it can be really frustrating. So also on top of that, trying to have conversations around not being frustrated, not letting it get to you. But we all know that's easier said than done. My one hope, I don't know if it's real, but it's a hope, is that now, especially with potentially a new CBA, more money, more European players coming here, does that give American players like a look like think about like Dawn Malunga, great example. She's in Seattle, so shout out, great example. So now, on one side of it, she's going to get comfortable with American players, but like Aliyah, you're going to get comfortable with her.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if, once the CBA hits, I do think more European players will come over. Does that kind of level it a little more? But TBD, it's definitely something I'm thinking about.
100%. What do you think the biggest transition in your role has been in terms of seeing the game, obviously the way you saw it from the point guard position, and you're the leader of the team, leader of the squad, captain numerous times, to now being the managing director and having to see the game, obviously from the player's point of view, but also, we would joke around about, training camps and things like that. How are you balancing those jokes that you told as a player and not wanting to do 2-a-days in Durham, which we did and, way back then, to now, having to figure out what's best truly for Team USA?
Yeah, the joke's on me. I'm learning a lot about nothing I didn't know, but things that I never had to I never had to face or be faced with to make decisions based on. But honestly, I think the player point of view of it all is really helpful in this. I don't think, people who have been in these decision-making roles have had that, truly lived it the way I did. So one thing I'm realizing is you can't get it perfect. Like maybe we're choosing dates for a camp. You can't get it perfect. So you just have to kind of try to find ways to make it fit for everyone, try to find ways to make it work for everyone, understanding you can't get it perfect. I'm definitely thinking about ways to make it in the ways that it's not going to be perfect. So maybe timing doesn't work for someone or it's a pain in the butt, trying to find ways to offset that. I haven't quite figured that out. Is it making sure we go to a bomb Michelin star dinner? I don't know what it is yet, but like just
Yes.
finding ways to make. Okay,
Yes,
good.
that's
Good
an
to know.
answer.
Finding ways to
I
make
didn't hear
it.
you mention the 2-a-days. Did you say?
Yeah, no, I
one?
don't think that we do it. The only way would be
Please just do it. Just do it one time.
Do it
Just
one
for the
Girl.
cause. Just for the old heads. Just do
No.
2-a-days one time. Aliyah, we did straight 2-a-days.
Whoa, don't yell at AB.
I'm
Don't
telling
yell at AB.
you, like
AB is
Lisa
just
Leslie
here.
was in 2-a-days.
Don't
Sue, Diana, like
And I'm so
Cheryl
happy for you
Swoops
guys.
was in
I'm so
2-a-days.
glad that you guys really enjoyed
Like-
every single moment, every single minute, every single second of 2-a-days. That's fantastic for you guys.
So wait, Aliyah, I have a question. If like
Mhm.
now, like as like a, what are you? Are you a Gen Zer? Is that
I
what
don't
we're-
even know what I qualify, but I
Okay,
think
we'll
so.
put you Gen Z. So what would be fun for you? You're like, I'm at this camp. Like, what's like a one night you do something?
One a day. Yeah, I think I love a dinner. Dinner is always great. But I mean, it's sometimes hard because some people don't like to do stuff. Some people like to just be at home. Me, I go for the vibes. I'm
Okay.
there no matter what. Sign me up. I'm there for the vibes
Absolutely.
and
Okay.
a dinner. 100%.
Can
Candace,
I
why
just
are you looking at me like that?
Because here's the thing. I think dinners are great. Everybody does dinners. I think to do something different, like have the option to do like the salt tanks, like the you
Like a
know,
spa
or like a spa day or some sort of like expose players to other things that'll be helpful later that they might like hyperbaric chambers. Maybe
Mhm.
I'm speaking from an old
Is
person.
that fun?
I'm
for
still
you?
speaking
Are you
from like
kidding
an
me? The
I'm
hyperbaric
not
chamber
saying
where you
fun, but
literally
it
just sit there
offsets-
and you're like, oh, should I listen to what song should I play? Oh, if they have a TV, oh, let me play a
I remember
movie.
being
like,
this
why
Sue.
would
I remember you talking to me
offer
at this
hyperbaric
age.
chamber
remember.
as fun over Candace, babe?
I remember being this.
That was an
and
unserious answer, though. I hope you know that. That was an unserious suggestion.
You're asking to offset. So Sue is shaking her
Hyperbaric
head.
chamber
Having it be an option, I think a lot of players
for
would
fun.
take it.
We just talked about what
I'm
would
not
be.
talking about- Shh, I'm not saying for fun. I'm saying as an offset for. Okay, we digress. Anywho, let's jump into the WNBA finals that just ended, which was unbelievable. I think we would love your point of view because you do have the expertise of winning 11 of 12 finals games you've played in. 3 of your 4 championships were sweeps. And the only
Sweeps?
finals
That's
game
crazy.
that you ever won, Aliyah was 3. It was
3.
2004.
Oh, they're like, lost. Yeah.
2.5.
Or the only one you lost. Sorry,
Yeah.
I misspoke.
2.5.
The only one that you lost in the finals was 2004. The
Oh, you
only
were
game.
3?
She was 3 years old.
Tough.
So can you speak to just sweeping one and the dominance and the mindset that it takes to that? But also like, I mean, the Aces are a part of a dynasty at this point. 3 championships in 4 years. You think about the Comets, you think about, back-to-back was the Sparks in the early 2000s. You think about Seattle Storm winning multiple championships in a condensed amount of years. What mindset does that take to be able to do that? Because you can't do the same thing that you did to win the year before to win this one.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is letting go of the prior year, right? Like taking what you can from it, learning from it, but really letting go, not comparing. I think that's a big part of it. I don't know. Sometimes I when I think back, on my own career, but then like you look at other people's careers, a lot of careers, even the most successful ones, are like riddled with just like bad stuff happening that you had no control over. Obviously, injuries is the first thing that comes to mind. It could be.
Yeah, Aliyah's shaking her head with the injuries.
I'm like, I relate.
Yeah.
Leah's like, yeah, injuries. I know.
Yeah. But actually, you know what? I'll stay with you guys. You come into the season and you're like, you look around the locker room, you're like, this could be the year. Like, we got it. And then before you know it, it's like stuff just happens.
Yeah.
And so I know, Candace, you have stories like this. Everybody has stories of looking around the locker room, knowing that this could be a year where you make a run and just something happens. So injuries is one example. In off seasons, it could be free agency, right? Like somebody decides they want something different. This kind of happened to us in 2020. We win. Natasha Howard, Alicia Clark, they go off to different teams. That's 2 of our starters, right? So we never really had a chance to run that particular year back. So things just happen, right? And so when I think of, for me personally, what's so impressive about Dynasty is what's so impressive about the Aces is This particular year was different from the other two. And so to find it again, to find like, I don't know, magic, I guess, right? To find the thing that works again in this short period of time is really impressive. It also speaks to like understanding when you do have a chance to not let that slip through, because there's going to come a year where they have no control over what happens, whether it's free agency, injury, whatever. And so when you do have a chance, it's not missing the moment when you have it. And that's really about, like, particular to this season, what's so impressive, because they almost let it slip, right? Like the first half of their season was really tough. That, like, the MVP and Asia Wilson, who, you know, people are now putting her, you know, in greatest of all time. Her resume speaks that. So she almost had a situation where she could have looked back and been like, man, when I was 29, we could have won that year and I tricked it away. But they didn't. And that's, I think, was most impressive.
Yeah, I mean, even just from looking as a competitor, it was like you're in the middle of the season, like you're both kind of very similar to where in the seeding and the rankings, and all of a sudden they take off, and then you look and they're on like a 5-game win streak, and they're on a 7, and they're on a 9, and they're on a 12, and they just keep going. Like it's crazy to watch, but I think also, like, when you talk about having that group of players that just basically just know how to win, they know exactly what it takes, and I feel like, not to turn this to the fever, but I will. Like, looking at our locker room, like, I think this year we really had, outside of the injuries, like, we really had people that knew how to win, like with Sid and with Tosh. And so obviously that part sucks, but also just feeling like tasting being 1 game away from a finals. It's just like,
One overtime.
you can't, one overtime. I shouldn't have held that.
Well, like, you can't, you're not, I'm telling you, no team has ever won it without a year like the year you had last year, where you have that taste in your mouth. You're left with that taste in your mouth. It's just such, it's a motivator you like can't create. You have to experience epic fail and have it and have that taste in order to like use it the next year. But I love the point you bring up, because I feel like watching you guys, I really realized, I already knew it, but it was like, it gave me the talking point to talk about how important vets are.
Yeah. Seriously,
they're just so important. And a lot of times,
great.
because of money, you know, you might keep a younger player over a vet.
Yeah.
But your team showed it's like you need people that know how to win, that have been around.
It's like the know-how. And I think you don't understand it until you're around people that have one and have that like it factor of, you know, figuring it out. And you talk about the aces losing, I mean, Kelsey Plum to LA. You talk about key bench, which is what they struggled with early in the year, and identifying their bench, because Alicia Clark was a huge addition. Sydney Colson, whether she played or not, she was a huge voice and led the bench squad. And so with those departures, it did take an adjustment period. And you're right. Sue, do you look back at any year and think like, man, we could, because for me, I think 2017, we lost in game 5 against Minnesota, and that was one of their championships in their dynasty. So for us, it could have been 2-3 instead of 4-1. And we lost in game 5, lost at home in game 4. And then the last second shot in 2015, I remember coming overseas and Diana giving me a hard time because they gave the ball to Elena going left. And I remember every time I'd show up to practice, she would be like, man, like, like, same thing with you. Oh, I can't believe, you know, type of thing. And it just eats at you the entire offseason and you're overseas. And so those are probably the 2 years that I look at as like in 2008 that we could have won the championship. So do you have years like that?
Yeah, actually, the year for us that I feel that way about is 2008. We were in a position where we signed in the offseason like Yolanda Griffith, Cheryl Swoops. I think that was Swin's first year in Seattle, to team up with myself and Lauren and like Tanisha Wright and so on and so forth. And it took us like, you know, we were a new team. We were kind of, you know, and Yo and Cheryl were on the, you know, the tail end of their careers, but like we were figuring it out. And the one team that we kind of had problems with, but then like figured out also, was both Detroit and San Antonio. Like, I'm not saying, I don't even know what our like regular season record was, but we were like, oh, at least at the very least, no offense to the LA Sparks, I think we could have gotten to the Western Conference Finals. We were like sitting in first, second, heading into Olympic break.
And
then
Aliyah, normally when somebody says no offense, it means offense. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
don't worry, I got it.
Because we got to the Western Conference Finals that year. So I just want to put that out there. Go ahead, Subi.
So go to Olympics. Lauren gets hurt. And I just feel like that year we did have enough to make a run. And that year I feel like we did have enough to make a run. But then the minute Lauren's out, now we're just like, we're trying. And I think we lost to you guys in the first round.
Yeah. That was when the series was 1-2.
It was a crazy finish.
It was 1-2, but it was also back-to-back at Seattle. So we lost game 2, and then we had to play the next night, Aliyah. Old heads, we played back-to-back in the playoffs.
That hyperbaric chamber after all. Man.
I needed it. And I was only 22.
Yo, I think we were higher. We were the higher seeded team. That means.
Yeah, you guys were higher seeded.
We were legit. We were good. Lauren getting hurt really just killed it. So that one, I feel like we could have made a run. And then honestly, the two scenarios around like the era of Stewie, Jewel, and myself is we win in 2018. This is like, okay, we have arrived. Nobody expected it. I think we're, set to or picked to finish like 6th or 7th that year. We win. 2019, Stewie and I both have surgeries, don't play. We run it back in 2020, win again, bubble season. So I understand that some people have opinions about that, but we win it. And then we lose 2 starters in free agency. So those more so like 2019 and 2021 feel like I never got the chance with that group. So that just feels like, oh, what could have been, not that like we could have or should have won, but like, man, like we never got to try it. So that kind of feels, that's like, let go a little bit, but what are you gonna do?
And I think that just speaks to like the woulda, coulda, shoulda. And I say that like you can be as good as you want to be, but it takes a little bit of luck. It takes a little bit of things going your way. And with that being said, the aces being able to figure out different ways. I mean, I was on the bench injured in 2023, 2023, when 2 starters both have foot injuries for game 4 in New York.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And Becky just was like, hey, we're going to just run a junk defense. We're going to junk it up. And that's what they did against the Liberty. And I'm sure the Liberty are looking at that game like, if we could have just forced a game 5.
It's why they won in 2024. Motivated.
Exactly. But it's also back-to-back. I mean, there's also an opportunity to go back-to-back. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, I think there's like, the biggest advice I would give to Aliyah is like those moments where you see a possibility, everybody has to be on the same page because one bad apple, one bad attitude, it takes the whole ship down with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
but I agree with you on luck. I could sit here and tell you the times that we won where luck, like maybe it's we didn't have to play against a team that we had struggled with that year. 2018, Atlanta was the one team where like we just could not figure them out, and they lose in the Eastern Conference semis. Angel McCautry tears her ACL that year. That's not the luck part. So I mean, you know what I mean. Obviously, injuries, you would never wish that, but it changed their team. Didn't matter. We struggled with them. Somehow they lose in the semis and we don't have to play them. It happens. I mean, listen, Vegas was figuring a lot out this season. In the second half, figured a lot out in the playoffs. Kelsey Mitchell.
Yep.
She has whatever, I can't even pronounce that word of the thing that she had.
They would have.
And it's like, who knows what happened?
Aliyah is still.
Like, this is.
Aliyah is still stewing.
I don't even know if.
But like sometimes there's a little bit of luck involved.
There's a little bit of luck.
It's not to say you're lucky you won. It's just like there's luck involved.
Yeah, there's luck involved. But I also say that learning how to win is a muscle. Yep. And it is evident in the way Vegas won this year. It is evident in the way Golden State pulled that championship out of nowhere, out of thin air against Boston in 2022. Like, it's just it's a muscle. And once you learn how to win in those moments, I'm telling you, it's a cheat code. But listen, we understand Subi's got 97 million 7 jobs. So we have to get to fan questions before we can jump. So, all right, Sue, before we let you go, we have to ask you some unfiltered fan questions powered by Uncrustables. Find Smucker's Uncrustables in the freezer aisle and learn more at uncrustables.com. So I'm going to start by saying this, because this is what I'm most proud of with Aliyah. this is what they ask me, because I'm all for big guards, right? All right, post-ups out there. It's about the big guards. So at Fever Stats, would love to hear Sue's reaction to this stat. Most assists before turning 24 years old, because Aliyah's 23 and a half. Sue Bird, 596 assists. Caitlin Clark, 452 assists. Aliyah Boston, 378 dimes.
Yeah, big guard.
Yo, your playmaking is legit. Your playmaking. I saw something the other day I came across. By the way, Megan and I, whenever we see something on social media, and we actually stole this from Courtney Mays, stylist, something came across my desk. So something the other day came across my desk talking about post players being playmakers and like the percentage in which and you're at the tippy tops. You might be the first. I can't remember, but you're at the tippy top. Very impressed. Impressed by your playmaking.
Number one. Yes.
Number one. Yeah.
She is number one.
Okay, we got another question, which this one for me, let's just hear it. So from at Liberty41, what's harder, being a post or a point guard?
Well, we already know the answer to this.
I mean, our show's called Post
on
Moves.
3.
Just be careful.
1, 2.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, post. Oh.
Listen.
Why are you scratching?
It's point guard.
It depends on what type of, because if you
Sue.
Nah, bruh.
Right? You guys have more of like the physical brunt of it. Like generally speaking, you guys have more, it's more physical than it is for guards. Not always. Some posts are more finesse, some guards are more physical, but generally speaking. So I'll give you that. That I'll give you for sure. But I have to dribble the ball and call a play and make sure you're in the right spot and tell everybody what to do and right?
No.
It's just always the post player's fault.
No,
I know that. Like in pick and roll, in pick and roll, it is always the post player's fault.
And if you're not high enough, but yet my post player is slipping, but I got to help, and then I got to rebound, then I got to box out, then I got to grab the board, and I got to rim run because you want outlet. I don't know. That
honestly,
just seems...
it sounds all really mindless.
All right, we'll do jump ball because I mean we represent both ends of the spectrum of post players. So I would say physicality, finesse, all that. But just know your audience, Sue. It's post moves is the show.
I know. I'm totally kidding. This is what I like to say though. I will say this. And Candace, you're actually like the outlier here. So take yourself out of this conversation. If there was 5 of me on the court, that team would suck. And like Aliyah, this is not it's like if there were 5 of you guys will be all right. You'd have some size, but it's like the point at Candace, 5 of you might be different.
Yeah, Candace, we can't. Yeah, you really can't.
Guys,
fit
we need
this
each
one.
other. We need each other.
We do need each other. And I love that because we're ending on just like a kumbaya moment. We're ending on the fact that post players and guards, we're simpatico, even though we rebound the ball and outlet it to y'all. But it's cool. And run 94 feet every time, every possession. And you get a 3 because we ran to the rim and everybody's like, good job. Way to get them a 3. And you're like, okay, I'm just going to run back and play defense. But anyways.
So much I could say to that, but I'm going to let you have the last word.
Sue, it is always an absolute pleasure every time. There's never enough time whenever we get on the mic. So thank you so much for joining us in post moves. We hope to have you back on. This was fun.
Yes,
we could have done this for
this is awesome.
a lot longer.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me.
It's now time for You Got This, presented by Adidas. There's nothing like a great assist to help us remember you got this. Learn more about the You Got This message at adidas.com/YouGotThis and follow the action on Instagram at Adidas and at Adidas US. Every week, we're going to shout out someone who inspired us, rose to the occasion, or made their moment count. And this week, my You Got This moment goes to possibly the GOAT of coaching. I'm going to just say that from my experience firsthand, and also just dominance and winning is Becky Hammon. As we already talked about, she brought Aces their 3rd championship in 4 years. She took over the reins in 2022. She coached a masterclass series against the Mercury. And when I tell you, Aliyah, I'll be honest, there's nothing that turns me on more than a junk defense. There is nothing. If you throw a junk defense out there for a couple possessions, and Becky is the master at junk defenses, and you know it, Because sometimes you didn't even know
You don't
what
know
was
what
going
they're in.
on.
You don't know what
Exactly.
they're in.
You don't know what they're in. Sometimes I remember in Chicago having to tip my hat at her because she came out in the Commissioner Cup in a boxing one on me. And guess what? I turned on the TV against the Mercury, and what did they come out in? In the start of game 3, a boxing one with Kalia Copper.
Yep.
They didn't guard Alyssa Thomas. Like, it was wild.
Yeah,
but anyway,
it was crazy.
Sorry, we're going to get to the stats and then we can have a whole discussion. I know it's a little awkward, but she's one of 4 coaches in WNBA history to win 3 titles. She won in 2022, her first year, 2023, and 2025. She won Commissioner Cup in 2022, WNBA Coach of the Year in 2020. Has the highest winning percentage in WNBA Finals history, 10-2 in the finals. And those 2 losses, I believe one was to the Liberty and the other was to Connecticut, her first year in the finals. She's proven that she can lead, adapt, win at a high level, manage the locker room, which we all know managing a locker room of great players is difficult to win one championship, but managing egos, personalities, expectations, coaching everyone and establishing and harboring an environment that is competitive with good people is difficult. And I really feel like she is proven herself as one of the best, has changed the way that the game is coached in the WNBA. And you realize that by the style of offense, the pace, all of that, the space that other coaches are having to coach.
Guard against, yeah.
And to guard against.
I think you said it best, like the way that she adapts and the way that she adjusts. Like she plays someone once, if they got burned with something, they come out and they throw something else completely out the way that you don't even prep for. You don't even know what they're going to do. And I think a great coach is able to do that. And she also trusts her players, know that they brought in the players that know how to adapt on the fly, change stuff up, but also get to work and be able to play your game too.
And bringing the best out of the players in their role is what I'm super impressed with Becky has consistently been able to do. And I say that I had the opportunity to sit down with Steve Kerr. He came to an Amazon event a couple months ago. And to hear him speak about your best player and your head coach being on the same page and getting them to trust and believe and be held accountable and all of those things. Becky does all of that. And with that being said, you know, the WNBA is going through their CBA negotiations right now, and they're going back and forth with paying players. Mark Davis was the first owner that was like, I know I can't pay players more than they deserve more, but guess what? We're going to get the best coaches and the best coaching staff in here, and you're going to watch the benefits that come from it. And you look at Jackie Young, entire game has changed as a result of player development. Becky was the first that came in and was like, we have to change Jackie Young's shot. And look, she's an Olympian. She's a champion. She was a crucial, integral part of their team. And so I think player development and having the right coaches in the seat, playing the game the right way. I'll never forget turning on the TV and seeing Chelsea Gray start on guarding Tina Charles when they were playing Seattle in the series in 2022. So seeing that was incredible because sometimes it's like, you're the 4, you guard the 4. You're the 5, you guard the 5. Yeah. But guess what? Sometimes if you don't know what you're doing, the other team doesn't know either.
So we say that all the time. When you mess stuff up, it's like, if you don't know, the other team definitely doesn't know. And that's okay. That works best.
And I can speak from experience in saying, like, being in that locker room and the amount of energy and effort and how much she rides for her players. She was the first to come out and say, don't screw A'ja Wilson over on MVP because she's great, because she's done it so many times. It's about this year. We brought up the win percentage. She has a higher win percentage than Phil Jackson, than Steve Kerr, than Greg Popovich, who she was an assistant for in 2014 through 2022. So Becky's not only putting the stats behind it, percentages behind it, the wins behind it, the championships behind it, but she passes that it test. Yeah. And super special. I will go as far as saying that figuring out is more than 3/4 the job for a coach. And I think Becky Hammon, just like Stephen A. said, she deserves to coach in the NBA. I think she deserves an opportunity. And there are a lot of people that are going to overlook her as a result of her gender and as a result of her being a woman. But I think she's proven that her ass can coach. So shout out to Becky, one of the best coaches I ever played for in a short amount of time that I played for her. But I just like some of the stuff she would run, and then like she would call me and be like, "Big dog, what do you see?" And I was like, I've never had a coach ask me what I see. Like it's always been like, do what I say and whatever and all this stuff. And she wants feedback, and she has the because and the reason why we're doing things. She doesn't just do things to do things. So anywho, shout out to all the amazing coaches, because you really truly have an impact on players for years to come. All right, that's my You Got This moment presented by Adidas. Next week, it's back to you, Aliyah. And I think that's a wrap for this week.
Another episode. Well, this was awesome. This was great. And also, we got to say thank you to Sue. Sue, you are awesome. I know everyone's going to love what you had to say. Candace, can I just say, I just love filming these podcasts with you.
I'm going to love like off-season Aliyah too, because I feel like we're going to get like a different look. It's not going to be like pre-game nap or whatever. We're actually going to get like vibe Jamaica, like out.
Yeah, Jamaica.
Maybe I'll have all that. We're going to have all of that. So just in case you've been living under a rock, post-ups, new episodes drop every Wednesday. Subscribe on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, and follow Post Move Show on all socials at Post Move Show. That's 2 S's.
And also, bow, bow, bow.